Hail, sons of freedom! I am Michael, Prince of the Archangels, come today in answer to your call. The vicious powers that seek to strip the world of spiritual qualities, to destruct the divine ideals, must be brought under divine control. The light of God that never fails, the light of God that never fails, the light of God that never fails is today a light within your hearts and is realigning your energies and causing you to understand that perfect love casts out all fear. Fear hath torment, beloved ones, and when individuals are moved by the impulses of fear, they are often moved erratically. Now then we come to summon the elect to a sensible and sane action of cosmic invocation, utilizing every protective device that mankind is apprised of a spiritual and natural order to produce protection for the power of freedom in the world of form. Freedom is God's gift to you. Even pre-Adamic man understood the wondrous powers of freedom, and freedom was given originally to mankind in order for him to hold the supremacy of the divine will in his being. Freedom is the gift of God. Freedom is the power and banner that Saint Germain wields and holds today for the earth and for its environs. You, as the elect, as the chosen of God, as those who understand the meaning of freedom in a larger sense, by contrast to the average individual in the world, must behold and witness that the perils of this age are secondary to none that have ever existed upon the planetary body, threatening to destroy even the minds and beings of the children of the light. But heaven is not satisfied to permit it. Heaven is determined to intervene, and heaven comes this day in response to your calls. I have called forth this day, first of all, an advance cordon of angels of my band. I have called for 12 legions of angels of the sacred fire, of the blue ray, of the power of faith, to descend here on the state of Colorado and to touch down upon Pikes Peak and to radiate in all directions the energies of the light in the name of freedom, in the name of faith, in the name of the power of the sacred fire, and in the name of Alpha and Omega. Let it be known then and understood and felt that the power of faith is being radiated here and throughout the channel of the Garden of the Gods and all throughout this entire area, and will pour forth throughout America that a summoning of national indignation against those activities of the hordes of shadow and those whom they are influencing may themselves be brought under effective control. Yet I do not say that the power of the angels alone will be sufficient to do it. There must be a response in the hearts of those people who are charged with responsibility in the world of form for the perpetuation of those Christ-like ideals which have given this nation her freedom from the foundation thereof. Your beloved George Washington, when he knelt at Valley Forge, called to heaven to receive assistance. And I want you to know that by the power of faith, your own beloved General Eisenhower received a reprieve from the hand of the Grim Reaper, and therefore those of you who admire faith ought to understand that the power of faith is indeed invincible when it is called into action by embodied men. We need your calls, for when your calls usher forth, they reach our octave of light, and we are able then to respond with the power of 10,000 suns descending to the planetary body and producing the miracles of light in the world of form, counteracting the hordes of shadow and their nefarious plots, and causing individuals to once again have established within the force field of their being that rapport with cosmic harmonium, which is the result of purity in thought, purity in feeling, purity in action, purity from the heart of God, and purity alive forevermore. The power of purity is the power of God. It is the glowing radiance of the will thought of God for and on behalf of creation, of cosmos. Won't you please be seated? Individuals in their puny minds are prone to create illusions in their consciousness whereby they may not realize that I am actually speaking to you from on high. But I assure you, the power of our band and of our legions is released, and this is only a forerunner of that which shall be brought forth into the heart of America for and on behalf of the cause of freedom. We are descending now, but I want you to know that in response to the students' calls, we will increase that activity tenfold, and we will see that a great blue flame Maltese cross is blazed across America from these Rocky Mountains and establishes the four freedoms in a multifaceted pattern, a pathway of radiant Christ energy to awaken and quicken the hearts of the people for and on behalf of the candidacy of those individuals who are serving the light according to the best of their ability and who understand the need to take a firm position with those elements of society that are rebelling against law, order, and decency and the power of faith. Faith itself must be upheld, and faith is the action of the law. For when men believe in the law of God, they understand that that law must be upheld. They understand that it must be held in thought, in word, but also in deed. For unless it be held in deed, unless it be ascribed upon the conscious acts of the individual, it is but decay, for it is a mere accumulation of substance which must return to the universal without fulfilling its purpose. And this is an abortion of the cosmic egg, of the cosmic ovoid. It is an abortion of light. It is a misuse of energy. Those of you who understand this law will realize then that when you draw forth energy from God, you must appropriate that energy for and on behalf of the light and for and on behalf of the sacred cause of bringing to mankind an awareness of the purposes of life, the meaning of life, the beauty of life, the strength of life, the joy of life, the power of faith, and that manifest action which God desires to be produced now and always for and on behalf of the universal Christ consciousness, world without end. Hear then our call. Receive our faith, the jewels of our love, the strength of our shining, and be not moved by outer circumstances except to call to us and to the powers of the forces of light to move into action in conjunction with your own attitude of Christ righteousness that draws forth from the hand of God that faith which this day requires to preserve liberty, to cherish liberty, to establish liberty, to promote domestic and foreign tranquility in the world, and to uphold for all times the pillars of freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and the power and faith to understand that the dignity of the individual must be upheld at all times, and that men must not be moved aside at any time from the triumphant order of the ages, which is the Christ ideals that have been upheld in part by Christianity down through the ages, but have been, as you were told by this messenger, broken from time to time as a broken thread of faith. Keep the faith, beloved ones, and this is your salvation. Keep the faith, beloved ones, and this is your hope. Keep the faith, beloved ones, and be unmoved, and we will stand by you, and no power in heaven and earth shall be able to deter us from winning our victory. We assure you that the forces of light will ultimately triumph, and we are concerned that men shall recognize that they ought not to hide themselves under a metaphysical bushel and put their head in the earth, even as an ostrich, but hold their heads up to the light and see how that the light itself is the triumphant power of faith. But be aware that men must fight the good fight of faith and lay hold upon eternal life, or they will indeed lose it. For life is worthy of preservation, and consciousness is worthy of preservation, for this is the victory of God for every life stream. May the power of that faith enter into your hearts and stir it. May the power of that faith enter into your minds and preserve them. May the power of that faith enter into the fiber and core of your being and amplify the power of light within your being, that truth may prevail and victory may come to this world in all her presently saddened state. Now then, as I take my leave of you, I place in those of you who will accept it in your hands a miniature replica of the sword of faith which I carry, a blue flame sword. I place it in your right hand, and I endow you with the authority to use it. This I do as my gift to you this day, for heaven will not tarry or delay the manifestation of the needed protection by amplifying the power of the archangels among men. Use my sword of faith, use the shield of faith, and walk the way to your emancipation and the freedom of all men. In God's name, I thank you.